Good morning. Today I am at the Good Shepherd Lutheran Church in Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania, and I am sitting here with Pastor
Peter Nordby
and Deacon
MichelleKunkle.
It's very nice to meet you both. Thank you for making the time for me. I do appreciate that so very much. Now, we're in the Good Shepherd Lutheran Church. We know it's Mount Pleasant, but what is the address here?
It is
822 West Main Street.
And what are the times of your services?
We have a 9 a.m. service every Sunday.
That's terrific. Now, you also minister at a church in Youngwood, and the name of that church is?
St. Luke's Lutheran.
And where is that located?
It is on 126 North 4th Street,
Okay.
which is the main drag going through Youngwood.
First of all, how do you even survive these days in Youngwood? I mean,
That's right.
You walk out in your porch, there's a pit. I'm sure.
Yep, that's right.
It's been going on for some time. And
We realize that the fact that it's improving our town, and so we welcome it.
Yeah,
And-
this is true.
Yeah, right.
It's one of those things you have to go through. It's you have to go through the birth to have the baby.
There you
right?
go. That's
And what are the times of your services in Youngwood?
in Youngwood is 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Yep.
So how do you do that? How are you in two places at one time?
Because there's two of us that serve the two congregations,
Yes.
And they're both at 9 o'clock, and so we share. One of us is at St. Luke's and one of us is at Good Shepherd,
Oh,
and
that's good.
we trade off Sundays. So
You trade off. Is it an odd even thing? Like if,
pretty much.
if it's an odd day, an even day, you
Yeah.
Correct.
So you know where you're going to be. Do you ever get confused on that?
We have we just trade on the 3rd, and if there's a 5th Sunday, so it makes it kind of easy.
Oh,
so.
okay. So there's a system in place.
It is.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
Well, we're just into the new year by a few weeks at this point. Do you see any challenges in the church in the new year?
I look at a positive challenge.
Yes.
That I feel the challenge to reach out and get people to involved again. We're still on the tail end of COVID, so we have my specialties are youth ministry and Christian education, and leading worship here most of the time. And I'm excited to get people back involved in this and called back to Christ. To one of our mottos is we're called to equip and encourage the people. So to gather together again and start our ministries that had fallen to the wayside, and then start new stuff too.
That's terrific. Do you have anything to add to that? Any challenges you see in the coming year?
I would, for the coming year, I think it is, as Deacon mentioned, I think a lot of it is helping people to re-engage their faith. In that, COVID did have a pretty big impact on how we did church.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the church has remained open and continued to do ministry, but because of some of the limitations that were placed on us, that church was different for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And so to not only get back to what we had before, but also, to see what other new ministries God may be calling us into as
absolutely.
well. So,
Yes.
yeah,
There's been a change, and we need to change with it.
there has been.
Now, one thing you are known about, this church is known for in the Mount Pleasant area, is your Thanksgiving dinners. And even during COVID, you were able to do those as well as you could under the guidelines, and I do respect that. But everyone knows this church, the Good Shepherd Lutheran Church, for their Thanksgiving dinners. Are there any other ministries you'd like to mention? You said something about a Wednesday night.
Yeah. So during Lent and Advent, we do Wednesday night ministries. At St. Luke's, they have a beautiful Holden prayer. And here at Good Shepherd, we tend to go with the traditional, a little bit of a Bible study sermon, a lesson, while we have soup and sandwich or salad, I can't remember. But it's a soup supper meal, and we do enjoy our time with that. So we do that again in Advent. We have the Wednesday night services at St. Luke's, where we do Holden evening prayer, and that's what we like to do during special occasions and seasons to help us give us more opportunity to worship.
That's tremendous, and that brings the people in, and that's what it's all about. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Another thing that I would add in for Good Shepherd is a presence at the Glass Festival.
Oh, okay, yes.
That is an
I've seen
important part of life here in Mount Pleasant, and Good Shepherd has, we put up a booth there and engage the community and so on. Good Shepherd's also known for their, is it the poinsettias? What are the
Geraniums.
Geraniums, that's right. It's the church with
I
the
don't know one
geraniums.
from the other, so.
Yeah, that's
The
right.
red flowers.
Yeah, that's right. That the community, we get comments about that. So
It's a
yeah.
beautiful church. It's been well kept over the years. Do you know how old this building is?
I don't.
It just dates back. It's been here forever, it seems like.
Yeah, I don't.
Now, if I were to come here on a Sunday morning, depending on who's preaching, or maybe,
It's still the same.
it's the same.
Yeah.
What could I expect? I mean, what sort of service do you offer to the people on a Sunday morning?
So it's a pretty traditional Lutheran liturgy, and so we do we do follow a pretty traditional worship setting. Good Shepherd is wonderful in that there are different settings that it uses throughout this church year, and so there is variety within that liturgical life. But we always start out acknowledging our need for forgiveness, and then certainly there's scripture and a sermon. We have a children's sermon every Sunday, communion are most Sundays, prayers of course. So it's a pretty structured liturgy, but I think people find it engaging.
Yes.
One of the nice things about the liturgy is that when all of life is kind of chaotic and uncertain, that you can come to worship and know, okay, here's something familiar that I can
Something I can rely upon.
trust upon.
Right.
And
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
yeah. And both Good Shepherd and St. Luke both are, I think, are well known for worshiping well. That's a top priority. Is to make sure that we provide a touchstone for people that's engaging and meaningful and has great depth to it, to launch people into the week. So I think both St. Luke's and Good Shepherd are worship very well.
That's
so
good.
yeah.
How long have you been in the ministry?
I will celebrate my 30th year of
Really?
ordained ministry.
Terrific.
Yeah.
You're only 29. How's that possible?
That's right. That's exactly right. Yep.
You heard it here, folks.
I've been at it a while.
30 years.
Yep.
That's wonderful. And you?
I just celebrated my 10th year.
10th year.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're not novices then. I mean, you
No,
Sort
we've
of.
been at it
Yeah.
a while.
I mean, there's always something to learn, even for old characters like us.
That's
But there's
right.
always something to learn. But yeah,
That's
it's
right.
good that people come here. They're not in the hands of a novice. How did you get into the ministry? I'll ask you first.
Yeah. So I was part of the Lutheran Church my whole life and had stirrings of it actually in like confirmation, junior high, senior high, both kind of internally, like maybe you need to think about this. And then I went off to college and had thought about many other careers. I think I had 5 declared majors, and all those doors closed until there was just one left open.
Yeah.
And it was both an internal but external too. I had a lot of pastors who said, you know what, you really need to think about this. And I'm like, okay, I give up. I'll
Yeah.
do it.
I'm very similar. Everyone around me knew I was going to be a pastor,
Yep.
but me, I didn't want to be that. I didn't want
Yep.
to be a pastor. But God had to soften my heart and give me a love for the ministry.
Yep.
And how about you? How did you get into the ministry?
So I've always been a part of ministry in a sense. I grew up in the Lutheran Church as well, Harold Zion in Greensburg, and there's a lot of, it's a big church, and so there was always a lot to offer there. And so I was involved in youth group, and I taught, and Sunday school, and I could never separate my faith from my life. So I became a music teacher, and I started teaching in Catholic schools because I couldn't just not talk about God or make that part of my life in a public school. And then when that music teachers, right? they don't last forever. They're usually the first cut from the budget. So when that happened, I had some people say that to me. Why don't you just go into the ministry? That'd be perfect for you. And it was. So Christian education and youth ministry were my majors in ministerial studies.
Well, that's tremendous. And it's just been wonderful getting to know each of you. Thank you for, I know you're terribly busy and I'm interrupting your day, but thank you for the few moments you gave me. I do appreciate that very much, and we'll be praying for you, and God bless you, and God bless you out there.
Yep.
And thank you for all that you do, David. We appreciate
Oh,
that.
no.
And seeing all of your churches online, it's a wonderful blessing for our community.
Well, thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you. Peace be with you.
Bye.